to the Thought Snob Podcast. I'm Paula Swope. Let's get snobby. Welcome to another episode of the Thought Snob Podcast. I do not know what our topic is going to be today because my husband Will and I are playing around with a new technique and a new format where we turn the cameras on. I have no idea what the topic's going to be. He comes up with it. It's either a question or a topic. There's no rehearsing on my part, no script, no nothing. So what you see is 1000% off the top of my head, truly authentic, raw, no preparation at all. The way that this came about is Will told me that he felt like that you guys never really saw my true personality, that it was always kind of, polished, and what you see is not my true personality. And I said, well, you know what? There's one way that we can do that, and let's just try this. So with that said, I'm going to let him fire away with his question or his topic, and I guess I'll take it from there.
Let's talk about vision boards. It seems to be very popular with people, and I know it's something you've been doing for a long time. They're all over our house, and I happen to bring one down that is in process. So if you don't mind, I'll bring that over to you, and we could talk about vision boards today.
Vision boards are incredibly powerful. And I know that when you hear vision board, you hear the word manifestation. You think maybe woo-woo, because really social media has made these concepts like something trendy or maybe a fad. It's nothing like that. It's the absolute truth, backed by science, highly effective. The most successful people in the world have vision boards. I think I made my first vision board, I don't know what year it was. I would say probably 2008 or 9 maybe. I think maybe earlier than that, irrelevant, long time ago. I made my first vision board. And there's not really a right or wrong way to do it. I will go over some do's and don'ts as I work through this topic. The key is to not don't overthink it. Don't overthink your vision board. It doesn't have to be organized a certain way. The goal, because the vision board itself, just that tangible product, is not going to manifest anything for you. It's the non-tangible piece of this that attracts and draws things to you. Because when you make that vision board, you are pretty much forced to spend a lot of time thinking about what you want. Now, most people, unfortunately, this is just the truth, and I used to be one of these people, so no judgment here. But most people go about their lives thinking about what they don't want. They focus on the problems, not solutions. Well, your vision board is like a solution, an out-of-the-box, out of the ordinary, non-traditional way to solve a problem, because you're not focusing on the problem. You're focusing on solutions. You're focusing on what you want, okay? Why would you ever sit around and focus on what you don't want? Now, that's another, that's 10 podcast episodes right there. Most people do that because of socialization, programming, what they've been told throughout their lifetimes, and they adopt those belief systems, and they just are not true, and it leads to them not getting what they want and thinking about that, and then it becomes a vicious cycle, and the next thing you know, you're on your deathbed, and you're there, thinking of, it's just filled with regret, okay? So a vision board will force you to think about what you want, because you can design your whole life on a vision board. And if you've never done one before, I love to use, and I'll just briefly show you what I use. I like to use these trifold. It's like thicker than a poster board. It's a little thicker. Those are like sturdy and they'll stand up. So you can put whatever you want to on this, and don't put a time frame on it. Like this one here says 2026. That means nothing. I mean, I do one every year, but like, for instance, a vision board that I made in 2017, there are things that are still coming into my life that were on that board. So don't get wrapped up in the time, just get wrapped up in doing it. However, you can plan ahead maybe 5 years. What you want to do is pick things that feel realistic to you. So here's an example. Let's say you've never made a vision board before and you're new to all of this. And you go to Amazon, you order your trifold, cool cardboard thing, and you slap a $500 million yacht or jet or something on that vision board, and your checking account's overdrawn. And you can't pay your rent, and you're just struggling. You don't even live in paycheck to paycheck. You're just in the hole, okay? And I've been there. If you put that on your vision board, now anything is possible, okay? But in order to attract things, your energy has to be in alignment with what you want. If you're broke and you're sitting in your apartment and you've got an eviction notice and you can't even go down to the bar and buy a beer, is your energy in alignment with a jet or a yacht? No, it's not. So it has to feel somewhat realistic. And I want to say go out 5 years. Again, there's no time limit on this. Just start with what you think is possible for you over the next few years or whatever. And you just pick out images that represent things you want to attract into your life. And these can be words. You can draw. Drawing what you want is so incredibly powerful. Anything you put your handprint on is powerful. Like, so your fingerprint. I've been fingerprinting the images on my vision board. See my fingerprint right there? So nobody in the world has your fingerprint. Nobody in the world has your handwriting. Nobody has your signature. And so when you put your writing, your drawing, your print on your visions, then you're putting your energy on that. That's yours. It's almost like you're claiming it. And if you think about it, when you buy a house or you get hired at a new job, you got to have a criminal background check. What happens? They fingerprint you to identify you. That's your print. That's your signature on that loan at the mortgage, the mortgage when you buy your house, right? So look at your vision board as that. Write on it, draw on it. You can pick images out of magazines. You can take pictures yourself of things you want. I think that's really cool. Take pictures of maybe places you want to go or a house you want or something. Print it out, put it on your board. I always put a recent picture of myself on my vision boards. I don't have a picture of myself, a recent one, on this one yet because I just started on it. But you want to put a recent picture of yourself on your board. And you can update it too as time goes on. You just want to make sure that that picture of yourself is representative of who you are right now. You don't want to put a picture on it that's old. You don't want to put a picture on there of yourself that you don't like. Any pictures of yourself you put on your board, make sure you like them, make sure they're recent. You want it to be present version of you, future version of you, not the past. You don't want anything that resembles any old versions of you on that board. Now, the first vision board that I made, I was kind of clueless about how vision boards worked and why they were effective, but I just did it anyway because I heard so many people talk about it. Steve Harvey was one. He is a huge advocate of vision boards. Oprah Winfrey, huge advocate. Ellen DeGeneres. I know I'm naming off people who have gotten tons of scrutiny in the media over the years, but I don't know the truth about those people because I don't know those people personally. They're celebrities. They have a persona, and I don't believe 99% of what I see and hear in the media. So regardless of how you feel about those people, consider that to be irrelevant. They are masters with using vision boards to attract things into their life. It's the same as any company writing a business plan or a strategic plan. It all starts with a plan, which starts with what? A thought. Everything starts with a thought. We wouldn't have iPhones, internet, TV, cars, planes, hair extensions if somebody hadn't had a thought, which led to a plan, which led to an invention. That's exactly how your vision board works. If you think that you want something and you feel like that it is attainable, then you can have it. And if you want it, you're meant to have it. That's why you want it. That's how your intuition speaks to you. What I want, the things that I want, you may not want, and vice versa. So, why do we want different things? Because we're all meant for different things. So, don't think small, think big. But when you first get started, think realistically. Don't slap a $500 million jet on there if your checking account is overdrawn, okay? So, when I first made my vision board, I was not in an ideal living situation. I hated where I lived. Now, if you hate where you live, then your life is probably not going to be good because if you hate where you live, then that means you are frustrated and irritated most of the time. When I walked through the door of that house that I lived in, I became irritated. And that is a huge sign that your nervous system is out of whack. It's dysregulated. And that irritation caused me to manifest some really unpleasant people, places, and things. Because it was day to day. If you feel irritated for a few hours or you feel irritated for a day, you're not at risk for really causing any damage to yourself or manifesting something nasty. But if you stay irritated for months and years at a time, oh, you're fucking yourself completely over. So I didn't have any money at that time. I couldn't get out of that house financially. And I stumbled across all this information about manifestation and I was really taking a deep dive into it. And I said, I want to try this vision board thing. And I was into visualizing what I wanted a lot at that time. And so I took what was in here in my mind's eye and I put it on that vision board. And the vision board looked a little something like this. So at the time, all of my relationships, and I'm saying all of them, were empty, dead end. They weren't going anywhere. The man that I was involved with, he didn't have any real plans for me. And I didn't know what I wanted out of that anyway, but I knew that I didn't want what I was getting. I didn't want what I had and what I'd always had. I knew that I wanted to be in a stable, secure relationship where I was close enough with someone that I could trust them, that being a man, I'm a heterosexual female. And I had never, ever crossed paths with a man, ever, that I had trusted, period, like at all. I'd never, ever met a man that I trusted. And for a long time, I was a bit of a man hater. I mean, all the men that I was around, they were cheaters. They were disrespectful. It was just, one big toxic ball of bullshit. So I knew that the relationship that I wanted was the opposite of that. So I was shifting through magazines, just looking for images that called to me, I guess, things I was drawn to. And I stumbled across a picture of this man and woman standing side by side in the bathroom, and their back, like they were facing the mirror. So in the picture, you just saw, the backs of them, and they had the lady had on a towel like around here, like a mini towel, and then he had a towel around his waist, and she had I think her hair was up in a towel, like she'd washed her hair, and it was in a towel, and they were standing at the bathroom sink, and they were brushing their teeth. And I'm like, well, I've never really had a relationship like that, where I would feel even comfortable enough to brush my teeth in front of a man. And so I cut that out and I put it on my vision board. And then I found, and I never bought a bride's magazine. I never looked at wedding bands or engagement rings or anything like that. But when I made that first vision board, I thought, I'm gonna take a look at these, and I had nobody to marry. There's nobody in sight. Um, and so I found a ring that I really loved, an engagement ring, and wedding band with it, and I put it on the vision board. And then I put a townhome that I really liked on the vision board. And I just started just piecing it together. I just started piecing everything together. And I can't remember everything that I had on that vision board at this time, but the things I'm talking about stand out because they all came to fruition. And I don't know where that vision board is. I would love to know. I don't know what in the hell I did with it. I hate that it's gone because I have the rest of mine. But I bet if I had it and I looked back at it, that I would have cold chills, because I guarantee that if not everything on it, most of it has manifested. So I just started thinking through what I was seeing during my visualizations, what was catching my attention at that time, and I set the vision board in plain view in my bedroom up against the wall. And I was never shy about anybody seeing it. I didn't care. So it was in plain view. I mean, anybody could see it if they walked into my bedroom. And that was like every day, when I got up, I would see those things on the vision board. And my mood lifted as I worked on the vision board. And then I continued to add things, and my mood lifted some more. And because I was focusing on what I wanted, and that gives you some relief. It gives you some hope. So it wasn't too long after that. Again, not sure of the year, but I can guesstimate. I'm gonna say it was maybe 2 years after I did that board that I was out of that house, and things just aligned that really shouldn't have. Like, it's like money fell out of the sky, and that has happened to me repeatedly over the years, just fall out of the sky. Not that I haven't experienced financial hardships, because I have, but it will just fall. And that's what happened when I was able to get out of that house and move into a townhome. And keep in mind, I put a townhome on that vision board, and the townhome that I moved into had the same vibe as the one that I put on the vision board. A lot of things transpired from that first vision board. It's looking at it every day, reminding yourself, staying focused, keeping it at the forefront of your mind, and you're rewiring you're rewiring your brain to believe that you are capable of getting what you want. And I was a really tough case. And it took a lot of, like, I brainwashed myself into thinking that I had those things. And it started with, yeah, that feels attainable. But then I got to the point that I wasn't even living in my real physical reality. Like, I was living in the reality that I'd created up here. And one morning I woke up, and by God, all of it was true. The ring that I put on the vision board. Let me go back and clarify something real quick here before I get into the ring. When you are I'm calling brainwashing yourself, it's almost like living in delusion. But what you're doing is you're telling your subconscious mind a different story, and your subconscious, I say this all the time, it will believe whatever you tell it. And so if you go about life saying, I can't have this, I can't afford that, I can't have that, everybody mistreats me, my relationships are terrible, I always get cheated on, I'm sick all the time, if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have none. If you say those things all the time, then your subconscious believes that. And your subconscious controls a vast majority, 90-something% of your behaviors. Okay. And so if you're being matched, if your behaviors are matching things that carry the same vibe as unlucky, as broke, as miserable, all right, then your life's going to be pretty shitty. That's how this works. That's really how this works. And if you do a vision board, then you're looking at that every day. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about what you want. Thinking about what you want is like a GPS for the universe, because you're telling your subconscious mind a different story. So your vibe, you're going to align with what you want, because that's what your focus is on. That's the point of a vision board. It's to keep you focused. If you slap a picture on that vision board and you never work on it again, or you stick it in the closet or whatever, you don't use it, you got to use it, then it's not going to do you any good. I mean, it's just like anything else. It's like if you decide to, lose weight, and you stay away from eating ice cream every night for 3 or 4 nights, but then you get right back to it, you're not gonna lose weight. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's how bad do you want it? It's how bad do you want it? And your thoughts, your emotions, your words, your actions, those are your GPS for the universe. That's how you guide the universe. It's like, would you ever get in your car and put the wrong address into your GPS? Well, no, because that's going to screw up your whole day, because you're going to get lost if you do that. So every day, that's a good way to put the right address into your universal GPS, is to take a look at that vision board and think about it. And I will work with my vision board in ways that I will touch the images and say, well, this is mine, and this is mine, and this is mine, and Then I do the fingerprint and I write on it. All my vision boards say, I am wealthy, I am perfect health. I write those things out because that's my handwriting. I'm putting my energy on it. I'm putting my stamp on it. Okay. Back to the ring. So, when I met Will, okay, sitting back here, I had kind of forgotten about, really that ring on that vision board. Again, I don't know what happened to that vision board. Um, anyway, um, when he proposed marriage, now keep in mind, he never saw this vision board. I never told him about this vision board. I never told him anything about the ring. I never said anything. The ring on that vision board is this ring right here. It's this ring. It's this right here, this ring, and that wedding band right there. It's the exact ring. And when he gave it to me, I think I told him maybe that night or the next day or something. I'm like, you may not believe this. You don't believe me. You think I'm crazy. That's fine. But this ring, this is the exact ring that I put on a vision board many years ago. And there are so many examples that I can give you of that happening over the years, okay? So many examples.
The one that I would love for you to get into just a little bit more, because it's not something that is tangible, is the I am perfect health.
Mm-hmm.
When is the last time you were sick?
Yeah, I don't get sick anymore. The last time that I was sick was I had a head cold in December of 2023. That's the last time that I've been sick, and that's the first head cold that I'd had in 2023. And I used to keep like severe debilitating head colds that would make me as sick as bronchitis or whatever. I mean, I was sick all the time. And that was from early childhood on. And I finally beat that, and that was tough. That was really, really tough because that was a belief system that was deeply embedded in my subconscious mind. That was planted when I was a little girl by my mother, and my mother had no cruel intentions at all. She did not know that she was harming me, but she told me time and time again, well, you get sick easily. You're puny. You're frail. You're just like mommy. Talking about her mother, and she convinced me of that. That for whatever reason, I mean, why was I the sickly one out of all of my peers? Why am I sick all the fucking time? Okay, it didn't even make any damn sense, but that's what happens when we believe that stupid shit that we're told we're growing up. She believed that. She thought she was protecting me by telling me that. So I'd bundle up and I wouldn't stay outside too long and all that shit. It made me paranoid as hell. But I believe that. And one of the ways that I started to reverse that belief system was with that affirmation, I am perfect health. And I said it and I wrote it down until I was blue in the face, and I still write it and I still say it. And at 48 years old, I'm sitting here aging in reverse. My health is improving. That's rare for most people. I'm in way better health than I was when I was younger. Way better.
So, if you don't mind, show us what you're working on for 2026. Just hit the highlights, and if you have any idea of where it might be going, I'd love to hear it.
I don't really. I just started kind of playing with it. And again, you have to pay much attention to the date or anything on there.
Why do you put the date on there?
It's just something for me to think about. Goals. Just goals. It's like, okay, so this happens and this happens, then, okay, then this is, likely to come to pass at this time. It's just something that I do. I
Just
don't,
like a business plan, like you
it
said.
is. I
Yeah.
mean, it is. It just is. And it keeps me focused and goal oriented and, what's important, really, because you can lose sight of that, especially somebody like me, because I'm a creative person and I go from one thing to another because I'm passionate about everything. Um, but I've got some goals on here. And each little thing has got a fingerprint, and you can see right here, like here at the top, it says, "I am wise. I am wealthy. I am perfect health." Right there. That always stays on my vision board. Let's see. Over here, I've got donate $150,000 to fund women's brain health research to further our knowledge about menopause. So, does that feel realistic to me to do that in 2026? Absolutely. Completely realistic. It doesn't have to feel completely realistic, but that is not something that I would have put on my vision board the first time I made one. I hope that maybe connects the dots a little bit. But that feels totally realistic to me now, where I am now. And then I've got I got a picture here of a pool area that I really like. And there are so many changes I want to make to our pool area. And this is just something that I saw. So I'm playing, I'm just playing with things. And that's, like I said earlier, don't overthink it too much. Just find things that call to you, that catch your attention, and put them on there and play with it, work with it every day. Keep it light, enjoy it. Maybe that could even be your outlet. It does lift your mood to do that. And it's just like playing pretend, like when we were kids, we played pretend and had imaginary friends. And I mean, I'd have a whole dinner party in my mind, and it seems so real, but we lose that childlike ability to imagine and play pretend. That's all you're doing, period. No pressure. So I've talked for quite some time about vision boards, and I could talk forever about it, but I'll wrap it up. And if you have any questions or comments or stories that you would like to share, I honestly love those. So you can leave those in the comment section. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to the Thoughts Not podcast, please do so. We have new episodes that air every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you like this new format of the surprise question or topic or whatever, feel free to send us a question or a topic, and I will cover it on the show. Okay? So thanks for being here with me again. I greatly appreciate it. And don't forget about my website, paulaswope.com. Tons of information and resources there to help you get a little further along or start your inner work, self-empowerment, spiritual journey.
The Thought Snob podcast with Paula Swope has been brought to you by Thought Snob Media in association with Special Purpose Studios. All production, mixing, and sound engineering by me, Will Swope. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Please take a few seconds to give us 5 stars and leave a review. See you on the next Thought Snob podcast with Paula Swope.